welcome back to Baseball Bunch. Today, where we are talking about the Yankees and the Mets. What a better time, is there a better time to talk about the Yankees and the Mets than during the first game of the Subway Series? There is probably a better time. It's before the first game of the Subway Series, but I've been very busy with work. So now I have the game on in the background, second and third for the Mets, up 3-0. This is Litke just for people to know when it happened. Litke just threw a wild pitch that Sanchez couldn't grab. We're doing great here as Yankee fans. So, let's talk about the teams. Let's start with the Yankees. Get the sad out of the way. Yankees are 41-39 entering play today. All these numbers are entering play today. The Yankees fast on the way to 41-40 as this game is going not well. Here is their team slash line. 236 average is 16th. Not great. This is a team that needs to be a juggernaut offensively, usually, to make up for the pitching, which the Yankees, every year, Brian Cashman is like, can we get it to just good enough? And you know what, Brian? Maybe you should go, because just good enough hasn't been enough. I think we've seen the last few years, you have to have a pretty front-loaded rotation to get anything done in the playoffs. And the Islanders, oh, there they are. And the Yankees just aren't ready. But I was talking about offense, and let's stick with the offense, because the offense isn't doing its job. 323 on base percentage, 8th, not bad. 397 slugging, 15th. That is something that you would expect to be higher, especially playing in Yankee Stadium. They have 106 home runs, but it feels like so many of them are solo shots. The Yankees have been terrible with runners on base. It's just not good enough. There's a lot of guys struggling mightily. Brett Gardner, I love Brett Gardner. He gives 100%. It's kind of like a laptop whose battery is like, you know, you've had the laptop for a decade, and the battery, yeah, it says 100 when you charge it, but like then you go to it says replace soon. And for Gardner, Tim LaCastro might be that replace soon. He's got great speed like Gardner. Honestly, I just want guys in the Yankees at this point that can just put the ball in play. Too many strikeouts. Judge has had a good year, to point out somebody that's been good. Stanton is, what he's been as a Yankee, which is when he is hot, oh boy, is he hot. When he is cold, good Lord, you just want to get rid of the contract. Gary Sanchez has been great offensively, maybe the best hitter of the last 2-3 weeks for the Yankees. He's been, getting stuff done. Defensively, I mean, I thought it was getting better, but it's not. When he gets good offensively, you start to think, and he blocks a couple pitches here and there, and you're like, here we go. And it's just not. He had a pass ball earlier in this game, and there was a wild pitch on Litke that not a great enough effort to block from Sanchez. And base running errors. The Yankees have the most outs on the bases this year. They've hit into the most double plays. Part of you go for the double play part, you say that's luck. Yeah, but I don't know if their other stats are good enough to override, a positive regression in that area. Here's the frustrating part. I kind of went off on the team pitching. It hasn't been bad. I do think the construction is not good enough. Like in a playoff series right now, if you're going against Chicago, the White Sox, and you're trying with your three guys. Your three guys right now are what? Cole, Montgomery, and Herman. It's not good enough. You might get Severino back at some point. You've lost Kluber for a good while. It just feels like it's a lost year, but not like one of those lost years where you go, get the boys back, try it again next year. No, it feels like the roster construction is broken, and that maybe it's time for a new voice from the GM. Maybe it's time for the Islanders to stop. I keep doing that. For the Yankees to stop being the Maple Leafs of the MLB. Incredibly talented, high payroll, can't get it done. God, it's very painful. They're not good in the field either. They don't really have. I know Glaber is a natural shortstop, but he was way better at second. I kind of wish I had joked about it in the offseason, so I can't really claim any credit, and I don't. But if they had let LeMahieu walk and brought in Didi and then focused that money on more pitching, granted, I can't really remember who was available. Taiwan Walker was, and we'll talk about him, but that's found money for the Mets. I'm not gonna pretend and say, the Yankees absolutely struck out there, because who would have known? And who knows with the Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake, if that would have happened. So it's out in the ether. Schrodinger's Taiwan, whatever. So I'm done with the Yankees talking about them. I'm pretty much done with them after that loss to the Angels the other day. They're just, they weren't good when Chapman was pitching well, and now Chapman is really struggling. Little by little, this team is going to break itself down because the starting pitching doesn't go far enough into games, and the bullpen's going to get worn out, and then everything's going to be a wash. I am pretty sure this team ERA is going to go up as the season goes on. And I think this team is just about done. I really do. It is a stacked division, and they are not that much worse than the Mets on record. But I do think, transition, the Mets are a good fundamental baseball team. Not great with the bats. Evidenced. Not great. They do have some guys waking up. Francisco Lindor has reached 3 times in this Met game. And they haven't been healthy. So credit where it's due. They've done well with a lot of injuries. Well done. Conforto just got back. McNeil just got back. I believe Alonso missed some time. DeGrom has been hampered, but not too much, because he's still God pitching. He's the best pitcher in baseball. The rotation is real good. If they do go out and get Berrios, like they have talked about, that I think this is a dark horse team. I really do, because yes, their record isn't incredible, and their division is not good. It is not good. How many times are we going to tell you, old man? The NL East is bad. I think every year, people get their hopes up. The Marlins last year got people's hopes up. For this year, no. It was a 60-game season. Let's remember that. And the Phillies every year will disappoint. The Nationals are picking it up. They're the only team really chasing the Mets. And I was right about the Braves, and I want the world to know that I told all my friends I didn't have the Braves making the playoffs. And that's looking pretty good right now. Anyway, Taiwan Walker, we just kind of touched on it a little bit. So the Mets' top 3, really good, as is. DeGrom, Stroman, and Walker, excellent. Really good job by the Mets in the offseason of getting these guys. And the Mets have had good rotations. This is typical for the Mets, to not be great offensively and to have great pitching. And the bullpen has been all right-ish. They lose Betances, but it's never like they got anything from Betances anyway. He's been hurt the whole time he's been a Met. But Seth Lugo has come back, and I expect that will help. Diaz has mostly been good from what I've seen. So this is our little third of a season. I don't even know the math. I will say close to the All-Star break-ish. I'm very tired of the Yankees. I really am. And I hope that my perspective as a Islander fan and a Jets fan, I think it keeps me down to earth with the Yankees, and I know that this Yankee team is bad. Not horrible, I don't want to exaggerate. They are 41-39, and they do have decent offensive stats and decent pitching, but this team's not special. This team is not. If they weren't the Yankees, they'd be seen as a team that's a one and done in the playoffs, maybe. Although I do think people are seeing through that now, and calling it out for what it is. I think Baseball Reference has the Yankees playoff odds as like below 20%. Makes sense. I keep waiting for that stretch where they get hot, and whenever it happens, they then lose a catastrophic game like the Angels game. And on the Mets They haven't been very good recently. I think they've lost like 11 of 19. But they look good today against the Yankees. Taiwan Walker is pitching excellent again. And yeah, I think they are a team that should be buyers. There's plenty of time. But I think, they really should be in play if they can add another arm. Yeah, if they can get a third baseman. I know JD Davis possibly, but they've been looking for like a third baseman who plays third base for a while and not a converted outfielder and such. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what the Mets do there. There are some holes, but they're doing well. They're doing a great job. Good backup players. Billy McKinney, former Yankee prospect, has filled in well for them. Cameron Maybin didn't work out, also former Yankee, but middle infield, Jonathan Villar, Peraza, guys that have gotten the job done when called upon, and it's impressive. It's a really good job I used to think Cashman would do this, but the Mets have done a better job with this year. Planning ahead, like with a ridiculous amount of depth. And the Yankees, they get rid of Tauchman in the offseason. I know Tauchman hasn't been great for San Francisco, but maybe Yankee Stadium would have helped, and he had been pretty decent for us. What other areas? The Yankees going out and getting Odor. I think you need a shortstop. Figure that out. Don't get another second baseman. Now we have Glaber, who I think is better at second. We have LeMahieu, who plays where is needed. And you're not going to move Voit. You're not going to trade Voit. So the infield is a bit of a mess defensively. And then in the outfield also, because they've had to have Judge play center. And I like the big hopefuls, the prospects from a few years back, Torres and Andahar. I'm blanking on names right now. Andahar and Frazier, just not good. Just not good. And you can't trade them because you can't trade them at their lowest value. If you're going to trade any of them, I would trade Andahar. But just not good enough. And I think I really think a fresh start is needed from the GM and the manager. I know the manager doesn't do as much in baseball anymore with analytics, but so maybe who cares about the manager? But the GM is important, and I think maybe it's time for the Yankees. Not mid-season, but at the end of the season, if things don't work out. I think it's time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Mets fans, Yankee fans, fans of baseball, fans of hockey, a little bit interested in me rambling about a different thing. That's all I've got. I got a dog sit in a little bit. So, thanks. Bye.